everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm pushing to hit 10,000 subscribers this year, so if you do enjoy my content, remember to subscribe as it helps me out. If you think you are already subscribed, make sure to double check as YouTube does unsubscribe you sometimes. Today's video will be about different tricks and tips on twins and hopefully show you some new stuff you might not have known that you can do on them. I might do more parts of this series as twins are very in-depth, and with the upcoming rework this year, who knows what could become possible. Anyways, to jump into the video, rather than manually aiming your camera at a survivor, which can be very tricky to do and easy for the survivor to dodge as they just need to move out of your camera when you do land, a much more efficient and easier way to hit a survivor consistently is to hold your camera still and wait for a survivor to run into the middle of it, similar to what some Huntress players will do. Most survivors will zigzag, so this is something that you'll be able to pull off very consistently. If you have a survivor slugged on a pallet, you can put Victor on one side of the pallet to check for any killer instinct. And a bit like Trapper, it will block off one side of the pallet, so the survivor cannot pull the pallet down to save and will have to kick Victor first. Victor is incredibly good at tracking. If you see scratch marks somewhere, you can get Victor out and leave him there and see if he'll hear killer instinct if they're hiding. You can do this in hotspots too, where survivors are likely to be, such as gens or on one side of the map by a hooked survivor. Leaving Victor on high ground, such as on balconies or hills, helps with the last tip, as it gives survivors less time to kick him and react. It's really nice if you're busy chasing somebody or hooking, as you get more time to react to a survivor coming towards him. When switching between Victor and Charlotte, you want to think of where you're leaving them, especially Charlotte. You don't have to hide her perfectly, but around corners or behind boxes is great just so survivors aren't prepared for you to be there. I've switched back next to a gen and found people repairing it many times. One of my personal favourites is the bushes on your Mocha estate. When you start playing twins, you will get disoriented a lot but switching between them, especially if Victor gets kicked and you go back to Charlotte, or if you try to cut somebody off with Victor and switch to him. One trick I use consistently is looking at Charlotte and Victor and where they are facing. For example, a survivor is running towards Victor and he's facing forward and they will be on his left. I think to myself, okay, turn to the left, and then I run in that direction and find my direction again. It could also be if Victor is just facing the wrong direction. Just think to yourself, okay, 360 around. I have a really good video showcasing this called Playing Chess with the Twins on Larry's, which is one of the most confusing maps for them. This also goes for Charlotte too, especially if you're being kicked. When I see that I'm about to get kicked as Victor, I will try and look to Charlotte as soon as possible and see where she has to turn to get over to me. This will take a bit of time to get used to and master, but trust me, not getting disorientated and knowing where you're going instantly after switching makes a huge difference. If you have Victor attached to a survivor, you'll see his aura for the first few seconds. Then it will disappear until after 30 seconds when you're able to recall him. But let's say, before then, you hear a heartbeat from Killer Instinct. You now know where two survivors are, as the Victor guy is there, as well as the guy that is being exposed by Killer Instinct. It's smart to use this information as it can help you keep track of every survivor. If a survivor jumps in a locker to counter you as Victor and Charlotte is too far away to grab them out of the locker, there is something you can do to counter this. Put Victor a short distance in front of the locker, switch back, and when you hear a heartbeat, wait a moment and then switch back to Victor and jump on them. Most survivors will come out of the locker and attempt to kick Victor. If they refuse to come out of the locker, you can just make Charlotte walk over there, essentially forcing them to stay in the locker. How to counter Unbreakable as twins is to keep an eye on the left bar when Victor is close to a slug. If you see them recover, switch back and then down them again. When you get a lot more advanced as twins and have several people downed, if you remember each slug, you can go to whoever you see gets up. Victor's pounce goes further the higher you are, so it's actually great to use as shortcuts to get around the map, especially if you're running Stale Biscuit to make missed pounces recover faster. I have guides on certain maps showing some of these shortcuts if you are interested in that kind of thing. If Victor is attached to a survivor and they're refusing to pull him off after 30 seconds, you can actually see their aura, and you don't always need Victor. If you're about to hook a survivor, for example, or if you're chasing a survivor that isn't injured, it's actually smart to force a 3v1 if you're in a good situation to do this. Just think to yourself, do I need Victor at the moment, or am I okay to leave it on that survivor that's holding him hostage? Ideally in chase, you want to be hitting the survivor first and then downing them with Victor. You can attach with Victor first, but a good survivor will refuse to pull him off. making you wait 30 seconds before you can recall. That's why it's better to switch targets if you do attach. In my games, I will try and go for the hit first, but if I'm having trouble, I'll attach and then down. But if the survivor does pull him off in chase, then that's perfect. That's pretty much everything I have for this video today. If you do enjoy these tips and tricks, do let me know. I might make more of these in the future. This is just stuff that I've learned over time from playing them, and maybe some of this stuff you didn't know yourself. Thank you for watching. If you do enjoy my content, do remember to subscribe. It really does help me out. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy pouncing!